All right, welcome to Her Crypto Night. And tonight's presentation will be brought to you by Brenda Lotz. And tonight's presentation is on social media, your friend or foe. So, social media can be many things. We use social media to share with our friends and family and business associates, to like and comment on, send information around the world, and spread good emotions and sometimes even bad. Social media platforms, businesses will be at a detriment if they don't use social media platforms. Each platform serves a different type of need or desire, and you need to know what each platform is for so that you utilize it in the proper manner for your business. Women use social media for many things, and so is it possible to separate your personal channel from your business channel? So women tend to use their personal accounts to share good or family news, to use it as a diary or to vent on a certain issue that they had at a store or something, and sometimes just to send out silly pictures or inspirational quotes. But some women also use it as a way to use it for activism, for religion, politics, or political reasons. And you have to decide if that's something that you want to continue doing if you're trying to run a business, especially a crypto business, that we're talking about here on this channel, so that way that you don't get a troll following you that might not agree with your stance on some of these issues, or possibly get doxxed. And even some of these platforms would deplatform you depending upon what you're saying. So you have to decide if that's worth it or not. And everybody uses social media for certain reasons, and you have to find out what it's worth it to you. So for social media, many things can happen. So by now you're probably thinking, I don't know, maybe social media is just not worth it for my business. I don't know. It seems a little more complicated and to deal with all that. And it can seem overwhelming by the loss of privacy that you can get. And sometimes you can even be called out publicly on it. So only you can decide how much content you're willing to share personally, because that could affect your business. So if you want to have a business social media presence, then you have to decide to what extent your personal presence will be made public. And only you can decide to what type of content that you want to expose out to the public. And if you have content from your past life that you're not too proud of, you might want to consider deleting most of that. You do run the risk someone could have screenshotted in the past and it could still come back to haunt you. But chances are, if you're not a well-known influencer right now, you might be able to go back, delete everything, maybe even purge your account and start over. Make social media your friend and your ally, but not your foe. So social media can be our friend, and let's look at the many different ways. So I'll go over a quick list and then we'll go over each one individually. It can make you extremely time efficient. You can form new friendships and business associates that you would never have without social media. Most platforms are free, and being on social media can be cost effective for other reasons. You can gain a large following that you wouldn't have just by going to local events and meeting people in public versus being exposed to the whole world. And you can gain many new customers because now you're getting the message out in a much cost-effective manner. And if you create something called evergreen content, which I'll talk about in a little bit, it can prove to be very financially beneficial for you and time-saving for you. And also, I forgot to mention, you can also automate your content as well. So social media can be your friend. And so you have business associates that you can meet that can eventually become your friend. So many of us here on Beauty of Crypto never knew each other until we went to certain networking events and we all met online. And so with that, it's something that you don't realize by using social media that it's not necessarily a bad thing, and it can actually prove to be extremely amazing just from making new friends or even making a new business partner out of it. Also, social media can make you very time efficient. You can do auto poster programs. There's actually software out there that you can auto post. You can batch content your information and then put it on these platforms. Very inexpensive, like maybe 10, 15 bucks a month. And then they can auto post for you. So then you can think about it, maybe work all day on a Saturday or something, get everything done for the whole month. And then your social media platforms are all being posted and you're getting the word out. And whatever you're trying to adopt for your crypto business, whether it's just getting new content or you just want to get the message out for just crypto adoption in general, then this is how it's going to be more time effective for you. Also, it can be a very time efficient manner for you because you're not spending time commuting to your typical meetups, or chamber of commerce or church groups. I'm not saying those aren't important. I'm just saying that you can be more effective quicker by using social media platforms because you can do a lot of virtual events now. And also, some of these courses will save you time by doing them online because now you're not spending traveling to an event. I used to go to an event in New York for a whole year. I would have to spend the time to travel, airfare time, commuting to the airport, and then at the other place to the airport, the cost of your hotels. All that is it saves you a lot of time on that. So, more ways social media can be cost effective or free. Most platforms, as I mentioned, are free to be on. If you're on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, you don't get charged for that at all. Now, granted, if you want to advertise in there, that does cost you money. But a lot of times you can make a pretty good presence on Instagram and all these other channels, TikTok, just on the free accounts and by not doing any sort of ads at all. And also it's very cost effective because your educational courses you can take, again, you can take them right in the comfort of your home or your home office versus spending the money. So this is where the cost effectiveness comes in, where you're not spending the money for airfare, limos, hotels, eating out, and you can do it right from your own home. Also, as I mentioned, you can gain a huge following on social media. And how you get a huge following is not just by looking good and, smiling a lot and being on there, constantly. It's about creating valuable content, good content that provides value to the person you're trying to reach and influence. That's why it's called social influencers, because you're influencing people, and let's make it a good thing. And so you get rewarded by a lot of followers by providing a ton of great content that's of value, and you're doing it consistently so they can rely on you for that. And also, when you get a large following in any one of your channels, it's something called social proof that you get from that. You get that as well. It's the people are giving you proof that they like you, which then kind of brings you on to make, and you're more encouraged to make even better content because you want to please them, because you're happy that you're providing a good value to them. But also other people will be like, wow, she's got 70,000 followers. All these other people must know something I don't know. And so society is proving, it's called social proof, that you are somebody worth watching because you have a big following. So that's something else you can get from it. So that automated and evergreen content. So automated content is what I mentioned before. You can have platforms that you pay a real small amount for. You put it out on there and they will auto post for you. But it's also automated sometimes in a sense with evergreen content. And what evergreen content is, it's either written or visual content. So written could be blog posts. Or presentations can sometimes be written in a sense, sort of like here, like if I didn't even speak now, this could be just a written content. Visual content could also be a presentation like I'm giving today. It could also be video content. And sometimes there are auditorio content, such as podcasts, can also be another way that you can reach people. And they become evergreen content from the aspect that they're timeless information. So in crypto or in Bitcoin, when you're just teaching like how a blockchain works, that's evergreen content. That's not going to change. And so that's information that's timeless. And it's packaged inside a well-written blog or video or some sort of presentation or something of the like, or a podcast. And it's packed with excellent information with excellent SEO. And that all gains you that evergreen content. And so it's great content packaged with good information that people want and are looking for, and it's timeless. And so then when you package that all together, you can put that out on social media, and 5 years from now, people are still looking at it, and you've got like 100,000 views. So when you use the automated services with this evergreen content, then your information gets compounded with the views, because as they keep growing, Google and the like will keep pushing that content out more because it tells them that people really like this. So let's figure out the old ways with the new ways of marketing and how you can use social media even with the old ways of doing things. So nothing can replace hanging out with the gals at a party, talking to your neighbors over the fence, with your best buddy on the phone, going to a holiday and meeting family and friends you haven't seen for a while, baby showers or bridal showers, even commuting on the train. I used to make a lot of great friends just commuting on the train when I used to work in the city. So nothing can ever replace this. And so how does social media come into play here? I'm going to actually kind of pop your bubble a little bit here. And chances are your friends and family that I kind of mentioned here on the screen here are probably not going to be your customers. They just typically aren't. Some of them might, but a lot of people don't. But they're going to hover over your content and kind of watch what you're doing. And they chances are will like your content, maybe comment underneath that. Their connections on social media will be exposed to you by them making comments, because they'll say like, oh, Susie commented on, Bitcoin say what, and then they're like, what's that about, and then they'll kind of go read that. So and then you have an indirect influence on them just by you being connected with them socially and personally, by you making just posts about your Bitcoin on your social platforms. You will influence these people indirectly, and then hopefully social media, then by them making comments, you'll get exposed to their base of friends and family. So another way that you can use social media is with the old ways is join your local women's group at your church. Chamber of Commerce are great. I know it's old school. A lot of them are still doing it virtually now, so you can do a little bit in person and virtual. And even BNI groups, which stands for, I believe, Business Network International. And so these are great ways that you can go in person or virtual, meet them, and these are people within your community. So with Bitcoin adoption, it's going to happen on, on the ground floor, pavement where you're driving or meeting people, or virtually with people in your town. They're going to respect you more because it's someone that they know locally that was probably within a 20-mile radius. And then once they know you on a business connection, they're going to connect with you on your business. You exchange business cards. They're going to check you out. And then again, their followers are going to see when they like or comment on one of your posts or that you share. And plus, you'll influence them with your social media when you're posting video posts or just social media, like you put an Instagram post out there or a story. They're going to see that and be like, wow, she's really serious about this crypto. And then they hear all your information. So again, that really good evergreen content that is well researched will get you, with great content, will get you a lot of views and likes because people will value it if you're genuine. Another way to use social media is we all need to exercise, okay? So, and it's good for us to get into better shape, and it's also good for us just to relieve a little bit of stress and anxiety. And so most of us could join a local gym. And with the local gym, there's like yoga classes, spin classes. You can join a swim team there. They even have for people over 18. It's called Masters Program. All the Ys do. Ys are a great gym to join. They're very inexpensive, and most of them have pools as well. And people over 40 love to swim, and it's usually in swimming. Actually, our son swims, and with swimming, it's usually a little bit more on the financial side of the spectrum of people, and they're usually go-getters. And most people who actually go to health clubs in general are go-getters. So a cycling club, you can, or a running club. And what I would challenge you there is, so how will they find out about your social channels if you're just working out every day? Well, chances are you're going to work out the same number of days a week. Let's say you go Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, or you go every day of the week. And chances are you're going to see the same people. I call them wearable brandings, and that is where you're going to wear a shirt like I have on my Bitcoin Say What shirt here tonight. You're going to wear that, but make sure it's also on the back of your shirt with your website. You don't need to put the www, so mine is Bitcoin Say What. I would just put bitcoinsaywhat.com with my logo on the back, in my gym bag, on my towel. When I go to the locker room and I'm changing, my towel is laying there, my gym bag's laying there. It's an indirect way for me to brand myself and to advertise without pushing it in their face. And if you see the same person week upon week upon week, eventually you're going to say, oh, hi, how you doing today? And next thing you know, they're like, I saw in your swim cap you've got Bitcoin, the name Bitcoin on there. I heard about Bitcoin. What's that about? And then that just opens up the opportunity for you to talk about it. And then once you become friends with them on social media, again, if they like anything that you like or post upon, their group of people see that as well. Another way that you can use old ways of marketing is, let's say, a door hanger. You might want to try just in your local neighborhood or a neighborhood in your area that you really want to target. Put a landing page on there that's specifically either on your website or a separate domain that you buy that's just a separate page, and it focuses on a certain thing. And on that page, you might have a video that says, hey, Chicago people. So let's say you live in Chicago, or let's say a suburb of Chicago, Hawthorne Woods. Hey, Hawthorne Woods, I'm glad that you found me. I'm here to help you with any Bitcoin adoption, etc. People will perk up when they go to this landing page, because you put this door hanger that has, instead of just your website, it might be a special landing page. It might say learnaboutbitcoin.com or whatever domain that you buy. They go there, and then you have a video that you're targeting that specific community. You might even want to do a video with the community for your like a subdivision name, and really hone in and target that. And then you'll know what's working and what's not working. On your business cards, you can put on the back of them or the front of them a QR code. And the QR code, they scan it with their phone, and most people don't even need the special apps anymore. They just hover over with their camera. The QR code is read, and then you might want to take them again to another landing page or a page on your website that speaks to them directly about a certain issue. You might want to have 4 different business cards. They all look the same, but each QR code is for a different segment or demographic. And so when you're meeting someone at the grocery store, you might want to give them this QR code business card versus a business person that you might meet at the health club. Different people need different marketing strategies. It doesn't apply to everybody. So as we can see here, I'm really big on wearable and branding yourself. So there's many different ways you can do that. You can put a QR code on the back of your car and your business name and website. Most people don't know, just because your name is Bitcoin Say What, like mine is, that you can brand that, like what's the website name. So you would have to actually spell it out for them exactly how to do it. And I would actually do initial caps so that it doesn't blend in. So mine would be capital Bitcoin, capital Say, capital What, the capital B, SW, all in caps. And so then that really stands out for them. The QR code on the back of the car can lead them to a special video that people would go to, and you're sending a separate message that way. You might want to say, hey, yeah, I think you saw me around town. I'm in your community, blah, blah, blah. And then that's the message that they go to from that QR code. So every QR code is not equal, should not be treated equal, because they're for different demographics or different messages you're trying to get across. And then again, t-shirts, hoodies, swim caps, sweat rags, towels to dry yourself off at the health club, whatever you can think of, umbrellas, pens, whatever you think of that you can just be wearing naturally, and people will find you. So let's kind of sum up some of the things that most people take for granted, but you can really push hard with this. With your website, you should be creating great website content that is submitted for Google indexing. Don't forget to do your Google Analytics, submit your website to the Search Console, and your site maps get sent off to Google. Make sure you're posting 2 to 3 blog posts a week, great evergreen content, or sometimes just current news content, but with great SEO. Get that up 2 or 3 times a week if you want to really get the message out. Google My Business and Bing Places for Business. Create an account, make it look good, create content. This is for local traffic. And so again, you don't have to drive very far, and people will trust you probably more because you're within their community. And these are great. They're almost like a website if you do them right. And then a lot of these, they'll leave your content up. They do go away after like a couple of days, but a lot of communities aren't using this that often. And so their Google and Bing are keeping them up for many days, if not weeks. You can put up your blog posts. You can put up videos on here. It's a ton of stuff. You can even put a special ad, and it doesn't cost you anything. You can say, oh, I'm giving 20% off consultations this week. And then another great thing to do, and I'm really big on this, is become an expert speaker. So if you've never been speaking before, the best place to start is to do a presentation like I'm doing here. Even if you don't have anybody to give it to, create one. I'm using it on Canva, canva.com. Go on Canva. They have tons of presentations already built in there, and then you just tweak them for what you're doing. Create a presentation. This here took me probably over 20 hours to make. And then I also have probably spent another 15 hours practicing giving this. And so am I the best presenter? No, but I will over the next 5 years. So if it takes Bitcoin 5 years to adopt, then gosh darn, in 5 years I'm going to be a pretty good presenter. So start creating your own presentations. And what is the worst thing that happens? You do what I'm doing here. You create a presentation, you deliver it many times, you record it like I'm doing, and you put it up on your YouTube channel. Now you can chop this up into smaller pieces of content, put them on your social channels, maybe share one screen, a little bit of audio or video from it, and then say, come to my website and see the rest of it. Now, you are getting better at it, and make the goal over the next 5 years to do a lot of these presentations, and maybe just for your own website. And pretty soon you'll get comfortable enough, you might want to do it on a virtual chamber meeting that you say, oh, I can do a presentation on this other topic, or at a meetup you do a virtual presentation. And then what happens is that now if there's a big event, you might actually ask to speak in person. And the only difference of doing a presentation like I'm doing here versus in person, you can still have these digital slides that you use. It's just now you've got to get used to delivering it in front of a live audience. Okay. And there's many ways to get around that too. So keep in mind, Bitcoin is probably going to take 5 or 10 years, I'm guessing, to get fully adopted. And there's not many people who like to be public speakers. So if you really focus on this, start with presentations, put them on your website, practice. Even if you don't want to put them on your website and you just want to practice and watch the video and critique yourself, that's a start. Make that maybe your first 6-month goal. Maybe join a Toastmasters group. They can teach you how to be a better presenter and public speaker. And in the meantime, you're probably giving Bitcoin presentations to them because that's what you want to practice on. And then you might have some future customers there, or people that can adopt to Bitcoin, which is your goal anyways, right? Oh, and another thing you might want to consider with public speaking is that, let's say your goal is in 3 to 5 years that you do present to in public. Start creating now speeches, because you'll need to put on your website a media page, and then you're going to need to put down your speeches that you can give or your presentations that you can give, and you'll need to have the topic, and then also offline your outline, because then no one's going to want to ask you to give a presentation or speak without knowing kind of the content, because they don't want you to kind of go off the rails and then they're like, oh my gosh, what is she talking about? So you'll need to have that ready. You'll need to have the presentation ready. You need to be practicing it regularly so that if you do get asked, sometimes you're a last minute, oh my gosh, Susie just canceled, can you do a presentation in 4 days? You'll be ready to go, and then you'll also be known for the gal or guy that saved them because you could do the presentation and you did it well. And usually when you get up and speak in front of people, they consider you an expert, because nobody speaks. Nobody does public speaking other than the people that work hard at this. So this is my big challenge for you to do it. Another way to be considered an expert in your community is go on Twitter to hashtag HARO, which stands for Help a Reporter Out. And the paid version of that is PR Lead. So you can figure out, maybe try to go the free version with Haro. And a reporter is going to use that hashtag HARO and then maybe say something possibly in the future about Bitcoin or cryptos or CBDCs. And then you can answer them, and then you're helping them out because they have to do like an article on this and they're in a pinch. And so they need to interview somebody. You'll get quoted, and then this can go on your media page. And I'm sure you've seen people have on their website, as seen on ABC News, as seen on Chicago Tribune, or as seen on, Chicago.com or whatever. So that is a great way to extend your role as an expert in cryptocurrencies, in Bitcoin. And then who knows, in 5 years you might be speaking at a Bitcoin conference, which would be amazing. And then now your social influence goes through the roof. So I would really challenge you to give more presentations. They are a ton of work. They are kind of a pain in the butt. But once you do them, you realize, wow, not many people can do them, and then not many people can do them well. So get on it, and I want to challenge you. Reach out to me if you need any help on that, and I'd be glad to help you out. My sons did public speaking competitively, and so I have a lot of knowledge on public speaking. So this is my version of my marketing kind of social media pie. You do not have to follow this at all, so don't look at my percentages and think that these are your percentages. And then this can be an ever-evolving, changing media pie, social media pie that you change, because what you need to work on now, you might get good enough at and automated enough at that you don't need to work on that as much time in the future, because now it's automated. So now you can spend more time on speaking here. So let's say here speaking, I put 2% basically, because I'm spending a lot of time right now on my social media and my website building and blog posting. But over time, I can get enough of that batched, done, and automated. Now I can spend more time speaking and practicing public speaking and presentations because I want to. So let's go over these individually, and then you decide, come back to this video, watch it again, and you decide what works good for you. So let's go over the couple things here. Pick platforms you're most comfortable with, even if you're not even if that platform isn't the best one for a lot of traffic. Let's say it's a weird offshoot one. Use it now because that's the one you're most comfortable with, and you're more likely to keep on it. Be genuine with posting and what you also comment to other people. Just don't say, "Oh, nice sweater. Oh, I really like that." Bedroom pillow that you put on in your bedroom post there, because let's say you're commenting on other people's content. You want to really be genuine so people think you're really commenting on theirs. You want to build relationships up on your social platforms that you're posting on. All right, so you need to get out of your home. You can't always do virtual. And so you're going to need to join a couple groups or get out of your home just to meet new people so you can spread a local adoption as well as a virtual adoption. So they all kind of go hand in hand. And so you kind of can't get away with that. Don't pounce on people when you go to a in-person meeting, and you don't want to only be talking about yourself. You want to be really asking them questions about themselves. Take notes when you get out to the car about everything about them, because the next time you meet them or you follow up with a follow-up email after you get their business card, you can say, hope your son does well at his swim meet next week. Let me know how that goes. And then maybe put it in your calendar to check back with them. They're going to remember you forever if you remember something small like that. And so be genuine, really, and then maybe keep like a book on people so that you can remember individual things about them. All right, so again, I'm really big into the wearables. You need to be branding yourself wherever you go. It's an inexpensive way. It's a tax write-off, not financial advice. And you could be wearing these things, and people can see your website and maybe just go to it without even contacting you. How many of us have seen something with a website on it when we're out and about, and we don't go up to them and say, hey, I'm going to give you a call. You might be driving down the road and you write it down, and then, that's it. So it's something as easy as that. So why not? And then make sure you brand your car if you can, any clothing, things like that. Make sure you're posting 2 to 3 times a week on your website. Make sure your website's done well. You're keeping it good SEO content on there, and that you are posting great content on your website. You can even take some of your social media posts and then you can make them part of your blog post. You can actually use them within that too. And then people kind of like that. And then your video content that you put on YouTube can also go on your website and get a lot of traction from Google that way. And then again, I'm going to challenge you to really grow with your becoming an expert speaker. You will be considered an expert if you can speak and speak well. So start off small, work your way up. Join Toastmasters. It might be a great thing just to try out. It might not be your bag, but you might actually like it. And start creating speeches. Start off with one for now. Maybe come up with 3 ideas. Outline the one that you're most comfortable with. Write it down. Make a presentation out of it. Something you do as a presentation now could actually be an in-person event down the road. So don't be bashful about it. Maybe also try that #Haro or the PR leads. See how that gets you. So I'm kind of done with the presentation, but if you need to contact us, this is our email and website. And as of currently right now, we have our next meeting July the 6th. You might see this down the road. And if this is evergreen content, which I hope it is, we're already past our meeting. But if you would ever like to check out one of our meetings, we usually have them twice a month. And you can go to beautyofcrypto.com. And that's where you would go ahead and sign up for an RSVP for one of our meetings. And her crypto night was brought to you by BitcoinFirstSteps.io and BitcoinSayWhat.com. So if you would like to check out beautyofcrypto.com, we're here to spread crypto and Bitcoin adoption with women. We're a women's networking group. We're free as of right now. And if you're interested in ever giving a presentation, let us know. Send in an email. We'll see if what your presentation about resonates with what our vision is, and then we can get back with you. And we would love to have you come to any time to our meeting. This is an open women's networking group. So thank you very much. Bye-bye.